We send letters out to all of the countries explaining to them, we'll look at the deficit we have or whatever it is with a country. We'll look at how a country treats us. Are they good? Are they not so good? Some countries, we don't care. We'll just send a high number out. But we're going to be sending letters out starting pretty soon.
We don't have the clarity on what you're going to do with these expiration of these pauses. July 9.
No, I thought I just said it. No, I thought I just said it. You ready?
You're going to send the letters.
I'm going to send letters. That's the end of the trade deal. I could send one to Japan. Dear Mr. Japan, here's the story. You're going to pay a 25% tariff.
Dear Mr. Japan, that's where we're at with Grandpa and his mental state. Can you imagine if Joe Biden talked about Dear Mr. Japan? But I don't want to get too distracted by his brain slowly turning into risotto. No, the issue here is that Trump promised 100 deals in 100 days. And now he's saying, I'm just gonna send some letters. I got bupkis, I got nothing. Snake eyes, a couple of goose eggs, that's what I got. Nobody would deal with me because I don't know what I'm doing. And it was never realistic anyway that you would get those deals. So now I'm just gonna send letters. And a lot of you are probably wondering, like some of you from outside the United States, you're probably thinking like, wait, what does that even mean that you're gonna send a letter? So he's saying, I'm gonna send a letter to Mr. Japan that you've got a 25% tariff. And I'm gonna send a letter to Mr. Portugal and you got a 50% tariff. And you're probably thinking, so what's the difference between that and his stupid whiteboard that had the numbers written on it? Again, based off of a belief that the trade deficit has something to do with what tariffs should be. It's the same thing, except he wants to pretend that he's not backtracking to exactly to that. Thank you. It's the same thing. Your letter doesn't have the force of law. You're gonna have to do an executive order as you did the last time. So what are you doing? You said we don't need to have these tariffs because I'm gonna make deals, but now you didn't make the deal. So you're going back to the tariffs, which the last time you announced them, what happened to the stock market? What happened to our economy? What happened in terms of the ripple effects throughout the global economy? Presumably that same thing will happen once again because he doesn't know how to make a deal. Or more likely, nothing that he just said in that video with Maria Bartiromo was actually gonna happen because it turns out he said he was gonna send tariff letters to Mr. Japan and all that twice before. On May 16th and June 11th, he said they would be coming out in 2 to 3 weeks. And they didn't happen 2 to 3 weeks after May 16th, and they didn't happen 2 to 3 weeks after June 11th. So I don't know why I would believe that they're gonna happen 2 to 3 weeks after this. He's just talking and he either doesn't know or doesn't care what he's actually saying. But the economy is a real thing. You need an actual responsible steward of it who isn't a dumb donkey. And unfortunately, that's what we've got. So whether you want to call this stupidity or taco or whatever, it's chaos. JR, what do you think?
Chaos, stupidity, and taco. Hey, it's actually the direction I was going. Imagine Donald Trump's like, dear Mr. Russia, I'm sorry for offending you so many times. Actually, I didn't even put you up on the tariffs, but can you please, can you stop maybe destroying the world and maybe allowing me to just kiss your ass constantly? This guy's writing letters. What era is this guy from? He's talking about writing letters. He wrote out a letter and sent it to Mr. Japan so Mr. Japan can do what he tells him to do. By the way, Scott Bessent, you were talking about how they're gonna go back to those original numbers from April 2nd. Scott Bessent came out, they still think this is the play. Well, I mean, if you guys wanna keep acting all like tough and not agreeing to our demands, we're gonna go back to that original levels of tariffs that we pushed that started this whole issue in the first place. So you're gonna go back to the problem? Bro, that was the problem. That's where we got in this situation because your guy started this problem. And after starting the problem, again, the result is we're gonna go and start this problem again if you guys don't do something about it. And thinking that American people and American businesses just aren't gonna be affected, aren't gonna point out how they're affected by this, aren't gonna realize how they're affected once this continues to kick their ass all over the place. But that's the thought, that's the level of his deal making. It's threaten, and then after that doesn't work, threaten.
Yeah, look, an ultimatum like this was not a great strategy the first time you used it, but now you've done it and backed off so many times. Why would anyone take you seriously, you idiot? And I shouldn't have to ask a question like this of a guy who supposedly wrote a book on deal making. This is not intimidating anyone, you moron. But anyway, we can say it's in honor of him once again being a chicken. We have the chicken emoji. I said I was gonna make it. I actually made it. It's available on YouTube. So go look for that. It's a lot of fun.